Okay, in this video we're going to be looking at equations with brackets. And we're going to solve these by first expanding the brackets and then using our backtracking method. Okay, so remember from our previous work, to expand 3 outside of x plus 2, we multiply. So we go 3 times x gives us 3x, 3 times 2 gives us 6, and that equals 21. Okay, from here we've got to tell that story of x. So we start with x, multiply by 3, add 6, and we get to 21. And then we backtrack. So the opposite of adding 6 is taking 6, so we do it. 21 take 6 is 15. The opposite of timesing by 3 is dividing by 3. Okay, we do it. 15 divided by 3 is 5. We're back to x. So our answer is x equals 5. Okay. Our next one here, okay, a little bit different because we've got some negatives involved. So we've got negative 4 outside of x take 3, okay, equals 24. So again, we're going to expand our brackets first. So we have negative 4 times positive x, means we have 4x, a negative times a positive gives us a negative. Right? Then I have negative 4 times negative 3. Well, 4 3s are 12, and a negative times a negative gives us a positive. Okay? So a negative 4x plus 12 equals 24. Okay? Now we're going to tell that story of x. So start with x. What happens to it? We times by negative 4, then we add 12, and we get to an answer of 24. Then we backtrack. Opposite of adding 12 is taking 12. 24 take 12 gives us 12. Right? Then we divide by negative 4. It's the opposite of timesing. Well, 12 divided by 4 is 3. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. Okay, so x is going to equal negative 3. Okay? So this next one, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do it. Okay? So, first one, okay, first way is exactly what we've been doing. Okay, so we're going to multiply out. So we're going to go 5 times x gives us 5x. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, equals 10. Okay, remember, we've done this expansion before. Okay, we then do the story of x. Okay, so we start with x, we times by 5, then we add our 15, and our result is 10. We backtrack it. Okay, so we take 15. 10 take 15 is negative 5. Okay, opposite of timesing by 5 is divide by 5. Well, 5 divided by 5 is 1. Negative divided by positive gives us a negative. So x equals negative 1. Okay? So that's one way we can do this, and it works. Okay? Another way is actually going, well, I'm going to start just with thinking about our x here and telling the story of x this way. Okay? So I'm going to start with x. What happens to it? Well, I can add 3. Okay? And then I can times by 5, and I get to 10. Right? Well, if I backtrack, opposite of timesing by 5 is divide by 5. We do it. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay. Then opposite of adding 3 is taking 3. Well, 2 take 3 is negative 1. So x equals negative 1. Okay, so we can see here, this is the expansion. We get the same answer as if we just start with our x and started our flowchart. Okay, so whilst we could do this, okay, this is the process that we want to be looking at today. Okay, it is actually expanding first. Right, our next one, right next to bracket in there for some reason. Okay, next one, it looks a little bit more complicated. Okay, and we certainly can't just start with the story of x. Looking at this one, we start with the story of x, or which x do we start with? This one or that one? Okay, we can't tell the story of x and set up a flowchart until we've got just one x. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by expanding these brackets. So I go 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 1 is 2. I still have my plus 3x. I still have my equals 12. But now we can see I've got 2 lots of x plus 3 lots of x. Well, we can collect those like terms like we've done in the past. So 2x plus 3x will give us 5x. Right? Plus my 2 equals 12. Right? Now I can set up the story of x. Starting with x, first thing that happens is I times by 5. Okay? Next thing that happens is I add 2. I end up with this result of 12. I'm going to backtrack. Opposite of adding 2 is taking 2. Do it. 12 take 2 is 10. Opposite of timesing by 5 is dividing by 5. So do it. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Back at my x, so x equals 2. Okay, so they're a little bit more complex, but we can do them okay. It just means that we're doing this expansion first, like we've done in these previous ones. Okay, then we can collect our like terms. Okay, so we end up with just one variable, like our variable just appearing once in our equation. Okay, and then we're right to go with our backtracking. Okay, so we're going to do one more of these ones to finish off. So this time I've got -3 outside of x plus 4. Take 5x equals 4. So I'm going to expand my brackets. -3 times x is -3x. -3 times positive 4. Well, we know 3 4s are 12. A negative times a positive is a negative. So we're now -3x take 12. Take 5x equals 4. Well, if I'm starting at -3x and I take another 5x away, we're going to end up at -8x. Take 12 equals 4. Okay. Start telling the story of x. Start at x, I'm multiplying by -8. Then I'm taking 12 and I get to 4. Okay, well, backtrack it. I'm going to add 12 because it's opposite of taking 12. Do it. 4 plus 12 is 16. Opposite of timesing by -8 is divide by -8. 16 divided by 8 is 2. A positive divided by a negative gives us a negative. So x equals -2. Okay. So I'm trying to model here what I expect to see in your workbooks as well. So we've written down the question. Okay. We've expanded our brackets. Okay. Set up our flowchart and backtracked it to get our answer. Okay. That's all we've done with these ones. Yes, we can do it in a couple of different ways. Perfect. Okay, great mathematically, no dramas is with this way. Okay, but what we want to be seeing is incorporating this skill of expanding brackets into it first, because we can see that they're going to then get a little bit harder. We'll expand brackets and then collect like terms before we can set up our backtracking. Okay, so now would be a good time to probably pause this video, okay, so that everyone can get these worked examples down in their notes.